All right, let's talk about something that drives us all crazy. A problem that can make even the most powerful AI feel, well, kind of dumb. We're talking about its memory, but we're also going to dive into a breakthrough that's finally teaching AI to learn from its mistakes and become a partner we can actually rely on.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That feeling you get when you've just spent 5 minutes carefully explaining something to an AI, you get a pretty good response, and then 2 seconds later, it's like you've never met. It's a universal frustration.
And you get stuck in this maddening loop. You're repeating yourself, re-explaining all the context, and it just feels like you're starting from square one every single time. But what if that could finally change? What if your AI could actually remember the work you're doing together?
So what's really going on here? Well, this isn't just some minor annoyance or a small bug. It's actually a fundamental technical barrier. For an AI to be anything more than just a simple question and answer machine, it has to solve this memory problem.
And that's the core of the issue, right? This lack of long-term memory is why AIs keep making the same mistakes over and over. It's why our conversations with them feel so broken and disjointed. It's the one thing holding them back from truly understanding context as it changes.
But the good news is, a really powerful new approach is here to fix this. It's called episodic memory. And believe me, it is set to completely change how we work with AI.
So what is it exactly? Well, instead of trying to remember every single tiny detail of a conversation, episodic memory lets an AI capture the important moments, the key takeaways from a task. It basically creates a structured, searchable history of what actually mattered.
The best way to picture this is to think of it like an AI that keeps a really smart, detailed work diary. It doesn't just write down everything that happens. It documents specific projects, makes notes on what went right, what went wrong, and most importantly, why. So how does this AI diary actually work? Well, the first step is pretty obvious. You have to write the entries. And in the world of AI, these diary entries have a specific name. They're called episodes. So yeah, each episode is basically a compact summary of one single meaningful event. It's the raw story of one interaction captured perfectly so it can be referenced later.
Okay, let's make this super concrete with a real-world example. Imagine you ask an AI to deploy some code. The AI tries one tool, let's call it tool A, and it fails. Bummer. So it tries a different approach, tool B, and this time it works. The AI records all of this, the goal, the steps it took, and the final outcome, and packs it into one neat little episode.
And just like that, the AI has this perfectly structured memory of that specific event. It's not some fuzzy idea, it's a hard-coded record of a successful strategy for a very particular problem.
Okay, so recording what happened is huge. But, just having a bunch of memories isn't the whole story. The real magic happens when you start learning from them. And that's where the second part of this process comes in. It's called reflections.
I mean, think about it. A diary is just a book of stories until you actually go back, read the entries, and start connecting the dots. That's when it becomes a source of wisdom.
And that is exactly what a reflection is for the AI. It doesn't just look at one diary entry in isolation. It analyzes lots of past episodes, actively searching for patterns, figuring out which strategies work and which ones are dead ends. It turns all that raw experience into actual guidance.
And this slide right here shows you the result, the big aha moment. After looking at a bunch of those code deployment episodes, the AI generates an insight, a reflection. It learns, hey, for this kind of task, tool B is almost always the winner. I should just use that first next time. See? That's not just a memory anymore. It's a lesson that's been learned. This chart just nails the difference. It's so clear when you see it laid out like this. An episode is the story. A reflection, that's the moral of the story. One is the raw experience. The other is the wisdom you gain from it. So the whole process from start to finish is basically this simple three-step loop. First, the system extracts the key moment. It figures out when something important has just finished. Then it consolidates that moment into a neat, structured episode. And finally, every once in a while, it reflects on all those episodes to generate these powerful insights. Okay, that's the tech. But what does this actually mean for us? Why should you care? Well, because an AI that can remember and learn is an AI that can actually truly help us. And the payoff is immediate, and it's pretty huge. The AI stops making the same dumb mistakes. It starts to adapt to your personal workflows, your preferences. Every conversation you have feels like a continuation, not a hard reset. And the bottom line, problems just get solved faster and smarter.
And don't think this is some sci-fi concept for 10 years from now.
This is happening as we speak, being built into the tools we use every single day. Just imagine a customer support bot that actually remembers your entire history with the company, or a code assistant that learns your unique coding style, or a productivity tool that genuinely adapts to how you work.
And that's really the bottom line here. We are finally moving from AIs that are just simple tools to AIs that can be genuine partners. Partners that remember what you did together, that adapt, and that actually get better with every single thing you do.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. This ability to learn from experience, it's one of the cornerstones of human intelligence. So as AI gets better and better at this, it's not just about avoiding mistakes anymore. It's about building a foundation for something more. What happens when an AI doesn't just learn the best way to do a task, but starts inventing entirely new ways? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.